What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Son of the Chaos and Controversy. And how do I start this off? Well, a few days ago, there was a topic of discussion, a debate, as you will, that surrounded the whole doctors in the medical profession that felt they shouldn't tend to those who were unvaccinated because they felt, in their opinion, that they were less of a priority because they had the opportunity to take the necessary measures and steps to so-called protect themselves by getting vaccinated. And they, I guess, tried to make themselves a priority over those that were responsible, so they say, took the vaccine and are still coming in sick. Okay? And I guess a lot of the pushback behind that was that if you go into, say, the medical profession field or whatever, and you took an oath, you went into saying, hey, we are here to, tend to people who are sick, regardless of what our opinions are about why they come into the hospital, we have a job to do. It's what you signed up for. Okay? As with those that sign up to be firefighters, law enforcement, going to the military, you know the potential or the potential dangers, the potential risks that are involved with your profession, okay? Your job, okay? Um, but here's the thing. Before I jump onto that, um, there were some nurses that said, you know what, they weren't going to take the vaccine because they felt that it shouldn't be a choice between how they felt and making a decision versus their job. It should have been on the table to even have a discussion or a debate or it being made an ultimatum. Okay? And I agree, you know? Um, but here's the thing. They were talking about how they were valued at one point to when COVID first hit, where they weren't given the proper PPE, and they were on the front lines dealing with people with full blown COVID coming into these hospitals and stuff, and they wasn't prepared. They wasn't properly equipped to handle this pandemic. Now, someone said somewhere along the lines of, well, they were hit with this all of a sudden, they were unprepared. Well, I don't get and understand why you were unprepared because you already knew with past diseases, past epidemics, or whatever that there was the potential of something like this happening. If you know that you have these people that are testing these bioweapons, if you got your own CDC that are testing all these diseases and viruses and stuff, and there's a potential that an outbreak could occur because of somebody's negligence within the facility, shouldn't you be prepared to quarantine or at least have the proper steps put in a game plan put into motion just in case something like this happened, so you don't be sitting there with your thumb stuck up your butt, wondering which way do we go, George? Which way do we go, George? Well, what do we do? You know. But there's a lot of things that I could say and consider that factors into that equation as to why intentionally things weren't put into place in the proper order that it should have been. Um, Some may lean towards the intent of population control, you know. Um, but that's a different subject for a different day. But I will come back to that in a later video. But not to escape the point. Um, a lot of people got offended, triggered, upset by um, me saying You knew what you signed up for. So it's no excuse for you to try to justify not doing your job based on your personal bias. Because it's like this. Would you want a judge to, based on his personal experiences, to sit on the bench and have a case before him, and because he is conflicted with personal feelings, that's going to interfere with how he passes that sentence onto a person? Would you want that to happen if it affects your life based on his personal opinion? Or would you want him to go by the law? Go by the standards of what is put on the books? Or would you want him make his judgment based off of emotion and personal opinions? That's where a lot of the problem comes into play. Because for me, it's like, okay, if I go into the medical, if I go into the medical profession and I decide to be a doctor, I swore an oath to treat people, to diagnose them with whatever it is that, you know, the technology that is at my disposal can draw the conclusions of what this person has and how to treat it. Okay. Same with the firefighter. If I know that there's a burning building or something, I'm gonna get suited and booted, get on that damn fire truck with the fire hose and make sure I get to a fire hydrant to connect it, and, you know, hose down that fire. And if need be, go into that burning building if there's lives in there that I could potentially save, and do it, risking my own life. I know as a law enforcement officer, there's the potential of there being danger, risks involved, that, hey, I might come across a suspect that don't like me just because of the fact that I am an officer and might want to kill me. I'm aware of the fact that if I join the military and say a war breaks out and I signed up for duty, the chances are I'm gonna go out there and fight that war with the realization that I may or may not come back. That's what I signed up for. But the thing is, when people say, yeah, but, you know, they weren't ready because, you know, how could you predict that, you know, this pandemic was to hit? Okay. When I say you know what you signed up for, it's because you are aware of the potential risks, the potential dangers that are involved with whatever you do. Okay? But as far as like the people in the medical field not being prepared for this pandemic, why weren't they? Because here's what I'm saying. Why is it when you go to school, right? Or if you go to these facilities where you have to take care of the elderly or the mentally challenged or whatever the case may be, you guys have a fire drill, right? You practice a fire drill. Why? Because you know that there's a potential that a fire may break out. Why? Because it has happened in the past. So to prepare for what may or may not happen, at least you are ready and prepared just in case that scenario comes into play, unfortunately. And if it doesn't, then you're fortunate enough to not have to deal with that scenario. But being that they do have these fire drills, they have it where they have the fire department coming out to assist in, you know, the practice of the fire drill. It shows the reaction, the escape plan, the head count, you know, of everybody that's supposed to be present. And if there wasn't a person present, and say the people that arrived that are of the firefighter unit, they can go in and rescue the person. There's procedures and measures taken to assist in that. Okay. people, especially and especially in the military, especially in law enforcement and stuff, they go through these scenarios. So you mean to tell me that when it comes to, say, a pandemic or epidemic or whatever the case may be, the medical field is falling short in practicing protocol in case something like this happens? And then they have the audacity to say, "Oh well, people don't go along with these underlying mandates, which really isn't on the books or isn't passed or required by law. We have a right to refuse treatment towards these individuals." Then why be a doctor in the first place? If you're gonna allow your biases, your opinions, your personal feelings to compromise your duties. I'm just saying. But that's pretty much the thought of the day. I'm going to keep it short, but it was basically something that was thought provoking. Um, a good a good intro to a discussion that I need to know what people think about it, because I know a lot of people feel some kind of way behind this whole COVID situation is being handled, um, and how people are reacting, and I don't know. It's just a complete mess, and that's my take and my standpoint on it. But anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Please, give me your thoughts on this, I truly want to know, um, where people stand on should um should doctors be required to treat people even though they are unvaccinated, or should they just, turn people away due to personal opinion? Anyway, until next time, until next video, peace.